What's good with the YouTube? You already know Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, and I'm smashing, dashing, sliding on through with a little bit of energy. Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, and help support this channel, man. So I have Shadow from Lockwood back on once again. And before we're going to go into a little bit, we're going to be bouncing around different stories. We're not going to go in order in how we do these interviews and telling his life story and what he's experienced. Before we do so, right now, he wants to do a little disclaimer about the purpose of why he's doing this. So, how are you doing, Shadow?
I'm good, man. Thank you for giving me this opportunity today to have this platform to reach out to people and have my ears reach have my words reach people's ears and be able to reach out to people, man.
So go ahead and give that disclaimer you wanted to give.
Okay. Thank you. I wanted to say, man, first and foremost, man, I'm not praising violence. I'm not, trying to tell people to do violence, or commit violence, man. I'm totally opposite. What I'm doing or what a situation I'm in is totally different from what I'm living right now from the people that are listening. To those youngsters out there, man, that are living the life right now, that are choosing to make this lifestyle permanent for them. Nothing's permanent, man. I suggest you don't do this lifestyle. I suggest, man, you find another way. You put your family first. You put yourself first because you're worth it, man. I know a lot of people are gonna not want to tell you that and discourage you, man, and not let you know that you're worth more than what you think you're worth. Because all you youngsters, man, you really don't know what life, the purpose of living, life, man. But I just want to, say that, don't commit violence because not only are you going to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt the person that you dislike, their families, their kids. It's a ripple effect of pain and suffering, man. And because you're suffering or whatever trauma you're going through, man, don't be discouraged to ask for help, man, because they got good people out there, especially Raza, that are willing to help you, man. You just gotta, build up the courage and ask for help, but don't be discouraged and please don't commit violence because, man, our people are dealing with violence every day, you know what I mean? And it just takes one person, man, to have a ripple effect to others, man, to not commit violence. And I'm just tired of seeing our people kill each other and put each other down, and then have families going to funerals for their kids, watching their mom cry. They're in pain, and we don't realize that until we do it, and it's too late. So I'm hoping my words reach out to those youngsters out there, man, that don't do it though. It's not worth it. Just be the bigger man, walk away, do something different, go play basketball, go do something different, man. Get your mind off the problems. And if you can't, man, ask for help. There's people out there, man. Don't be discouraged. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate you saying that, man, and that's because you know what? A lot of these stories that he's gonna be telling, we don't want it to be misinterpreted that he's glorifying it. It is what it is. He lives a life where he's at, and that's just how life is in there. You know what I'm saying? And I think anybody that's been in prison understands that. I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's your life now. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be jumping around. And what we want to do today, though, we want to focus on let's talk about your childhood a little bit, brother. How'd you grow up?
Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Well, growing up, man, I grew up in East LA, kind of East LA. My brother's quicker from East Sacramento Flats. My big brother's Big Shadow from West Side Rockwood, Pequeños over there, Highland Park. My brother, Little Shadow from West Side Rockwood, Highland Park. Both of my brothers, Shadow and Little Shadow, rest in peace. I'm Baby Shadow from West Side Rockwood, from Highland Park, from Pequeños. Man, me and my brother, we grew up with my mom in Highland Park, man. Like an ordinary family, just, Mexicans, how it is with the abuela, jefa. Pops was there, he was a drug addict. At the time it was a little violent, hectic, and I got my sister Angela. We're all living at the house. My older brothers ended up going to prison at a young age. My brother Cricket from East Sacramento Flats and my brother Big Shadow. Those are my two older brothers. And then me, my other relative, my brother Tony, Little Shadow, and my sister were living at the home. I'm a young five. So like every other Mexican family,
Hold up. Okay.
good home.
You had a little scruffling.
Here and there.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good home. Half I loved their kids. My mom loved us. Pops wasn't always there. He was doing other shit. As I got older, I guess my dad, from my understanding, from my older brothers told me, my dad got my mom strung out of heroin, and she started, getting caught up in the game of drugs because of my dad. And then after that, it became like just a hellhole. And the main thing that was important in the home was drugs. So, we got neglected. And then we ended up living with our abuela.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have 60 seconds remaining.
Call back, brother.
You want me to call back?
Yes. Go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, so growing up with my grandmother, my mom started, fucking being at the casa, so she ain't taking off with my dad. They're doing their thing. Growing up with my abuela, I was, a little hectic, and then taking away me and my brother from my abuela. We lived there for like 5 years, went to our tias. That was like a short time living housing, I was a youngster. I was probably like 6, 7 years old. Stayed there for a couple of years. Then I ended up going to foster home, in and out. And, my older brother, Little Shadow from Rockville, rest in peace, he ended up going to YA for robbery, kidnapping, or something like that. And then I ended up starting to get into like trouble at like 9, 10 years old. Then around that age, man, I told my big brother, Little Shadow from Rockville, rest in peace, I said, look, man, you got an ultimatum pretty much, you either going to put me in the hood or... Yeah, I got you. Yeah, then my own boxes.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
All my homeboys, they jumped me in. They put me in pequeño. I was a youngster. That night I got high, fucking started gangbanging. And that was like the open door, gateway to fucking gangbanging. And then from there, it just trickled down to, what I thought was a life to live, right? Which I have no regret because of the situation that I'm in now. But at the time, man, they were like, showing me like brother love, which I didn't have at home. So I ended up, connecting to that, to my homeboys from Dorado. And it was just, I felt like it was a family. My brother ended up getting busted, so I ended up, going to the hood, posting up, and doing my thing, and just drugs, partying, gangbanging, just doing the basic things, right? Little did I know that when I reflect on it now, that I see all the pain that I've caused to people. And I tripped out, and I do have a good for the family, the individual that what I did, it was enough reason for me to do what I did, which I don't, advise anybody to do what I did. I advise those to not commit violence and do something different. And, at the time that I thought it was right, and, I'm 13, 14 years old, I started going on missions, and first thing I picked up was a weapon, a knife. It was silent, nobody, there was no gunshots. It was just walk up, stab somebody, walk away. And at a young age, that's what I started doing. My other 2 brothers were still in prison. They were barely about to get out. My other brother was still in YA. My sister, she was doing her own thing. And I just found my own way in life, but it was through gangs, it was through violence, it was through partying, it was through having a good time, But me being at this, like 13, 14, I haven't even experienced life.
Can you recall?
There's really nothing that I can like solidly say.
Can you recall your first act of violence? Do you remember it?
Yeah, I stabbed some dude over a pack of cigarettes, like $50. And I just stabbed him with a 13-inch kitchen knife. I just hit him twice. He didn't want to hand me his stuff, so he just looked at me like I was a little kid. And I just grabbed the knife and I jabbed like 2 times to his stomach, and he fell. Once he fell, I just went and grabbed all the stuff, and I took off running up the hill. I did this over in Highland Park, Yeah, I still remember to the day. You never forget that.
Yeah.
At that age, 13, 14, I was fucking scared out of my wits, you know what I mean? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I knew I better put in work because I better not come back empty-handed, or else I was gonna get my ass beat. So I prefer stabbing this dude just for a few dollars, just to prove what I was worth. Thinking I was tough, badass. And I'm not really proving nothing. I'm just proving that I'm willing to hurt somebody for nothing. And it just escalated from there. I started, getting to guns, and I got trigger happy. And I was doing walk-ups. I was walking up to people, doming them. I was walking up to people, shooting them. And I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't say nothing to nobody. Homies were like, where you been at? And I just, just been over here, and I'm over here walking up to people, killing them. So, it got real cold for a minute. It got real cold for me. Like, my heart just turned cold. I didn't really feel nothing no more because I was so disconnected to life, because I didn't have the people around me to support me or give me that love or embrace me. So as I started living that life in gang, I just became more cold and more cold, and it just got worse and worse and escalated. And
I use this.
I can reflect on it.
I use this term a lot, and I say that the most important person in this world is the invisible child. There's nothing worse than a kid feeling invisible to the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And that almost sounds like your story. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's one thing as parents we need to realize, that we cannot never make a child feel invisible, because we're going to gravitate towards something. Now, what neighborhoods were you funking with back then?
Rockwood. Westside Rockwood. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. I wasn't messing with no other hood. I was always in Westmoreland. I was always in 16 Union. All my homeboys that know me, and they'll tell you, I was always posted in 16 Union. I was always posted in Westmoreland or 3rd and Whitman. I was mopping up and down like crazy.
So
my homeboy Trusty, my homeboy Boo, my homeboy Sweet, they all remember me going up and down. Soldier, they used to call him Cricket. My homeboy Mousy, rest in peace. All the homies that used to know me, my homeboy Boy, they always knew me. I was always in a dead end rap.
But what neighborhoods were you guys funking with back then?
Oh, we still do to this day. 18, number 1, MS, Temple. MS is out there, but hard to find. But MS, Crazy White, they're big out there, but it's like they're not that close. 18, Temple, Crazy Riders, Headhunters, Big Top. Diamond,
so
Echo Park.
Your hood's on the west side?
Yeah.
It's on West LA, right? I've been on
the west side.
I've been by 6th and Union, bro.
Yeah.
Not that far from MacArthur Park, huh?
Yeah.
Or not MacArthur Park. What do you call it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I've been at that.
Belmont High School.
Yeah, I stayed at
high school right there, Belmont.
I stayed on. I think it was 6th and right there that the Holiday. The Holiday, Hollywood Inn Express. Because you're not that far from Hollywood either, huh?
60.
I forgot what it was. 6th and something, man.
Right by Tommy's?
Yep, right by Tommy's. Tommy's was down the street, bro.
60 Union Drive?
Yeah, I forgot where it was, bro, but I was right there by Tommy's. By the Winchells, by where the Winchells is at. The Winchells.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was right there walking around, bro, like a dumbass, bro. I didn't know I didn't know it was like.
Yeah, it's ugly right there.
Bro, I didn't know. I was out there like 1 o'clock in the morning going to the liquor store right there in the Winchells and shit. Oh man, the 7-Eleven's right there. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of MS right there.
Yeah, me and my homeboy were my homeboy Sneaky, rest in peace. Me and the homie did a holler, and he ended up walking back from work. That's my homeboy Town. My homeboy Town from Rockwood. That was his brother. They shot my homeboy Sneaky. He killed him just for walking up those streets that you're saying you were walking on, man. You didn't know, but yeah, those were some dangerous streets down there in West LA.
Yeah, I think West LA's where it all began, is what I've been told. Like, everybody gives tribute to East LA, which they deserve it, but that's because more of the Hollywood scene. But West LA's where all the activity's at, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where it all began. In MacArthur Park, I went by
Definitely.
that in broad daylight. I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, I'd never seen nothing like that in broad daylight. I thought the Tenderloin was bad at night, right? That was like the daytime, it was bad over there. You know, so you grew up. That's where you grew up. That's like straight war zones right there, bro. Like there's from hood to hood to hood over there, man. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's it.
it's
And that's all you got taught. That's all you got taught. From hood, every 2-3 blocks, you're not safe. You know, you come up and all. We had some good times. And it's
see,
I
nobody.
mean, we even did from balcony to balcony shootout.
Oh wow, I can imagine so because you know what though, I know because I know Temple Street's right by the freeway too, right there. You know what I mean? By the hospital right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through there too, bro.
Yeah, we take on at it with them.
And this was about 6 months ago. Shit, man. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, when I was out there, it was like 2007.
yeah, out there now, bro. It's not like it used to be where everybody's cholo down. The people down south now don't dress like that no more, really.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, which I tripped off it, man. Like I was at,
Nah, they're more.
you know,
Well,
you know that they're more like
yeah.
casual. They all,
Boy, they got the.
not, they look like they dress like the Norteños do up north. That's what I was tripping off. Like, oh man, you couldn't really tell, bro. Like they had the same, like, almost
Okay.
the same almost stilo, bro. You know, I grew up, Norteño, but I grew up with the old school cholo style. You know what I mean? Fucking khakis and Cortezes and fucking, you know what I mean? Godfathers, hush puppies, all that stuff. You know, Cascades.
Mine was 501.
Well, 501s too, and baby
Mine was
cuff.
501. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah. All we wore was Rockaware or throwback Steeler jerseys. And that's all we did was Rockaware shirts, RW hat, or the black yellow P hat from Piedra Madera.
Yeah.
And then, my homeboy Scrappy, he's still on the line. My homeboy Scrappy, he always wore PM on the shoulder, but he also rocked the yellow black P hat for the Pirates. And that's another thing we used to wear. That was one of the dress codes that we wore.
So your life was no different than any other, young Chicano or young Raza that was growing up down south, bro. Basically in LA, it was just like everybody pretty much grew up kind of the same way.
It was just, yeah. Well, one incident that happened right there on 6, my homeboy Pee Wee, older Pee Wee, not little Pee Wee, and he was right there posted with Betty one day, and we were posted at my homeboy Sneaky's house right there on 6, and we went to the Chinese store to go get some food. So when we come back up the hill, I go back up. I pull up at the homies in front of the homie's house, the homie Sneaky's house. So I'm sitting inside the gate, not outside the gate, on the walkway. And my homeboy Pee-wee's out there, and Betty, my homegirl, they're eating. And I hear someone come out the house from behind me. So I don't think nothing of it. I'm pretty sure it's a paisita or paisano coming out and about to go to work or do whatever he's gonna go do, sell tamales, sell roses, or whatever he's gonna do. And I think nothing of it, so I keep eating. But at the time, I had a like a switchblade, like a nice, like a flat. I had it on my hip, like on my weight, like on my lap. So I'm eating the Chinese food. I hear the door close for the gate, the black gate, and I hear hey, and I'm like kind of like in it's Chinese food, bro. So I got my full attention. I'm a big boy, so I'm all in my food. And I look over my right shoulder, and I see my homeboy getting his ass beat. I mean, his little ass was getting whipped on. Then Betty starts screaming, "Get off him! Get off him!" So I put my food down, I grab a cuchillo. It's still like in like closed, so I have to whip it out.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Call me back.
I'm calling back.
Yep.
Yeah, so
You're good. Good.
so I got up and I see my homeboy Betty screaming, and I noticed my homeboy was getting his ass whooped. So I get up, I had to put the food down, so I walk down, boom, I open the door. So when I walk up to him, I'm 16 years old, I was so like just numb, like just mentally and emotionally, just everything. I was just zoned out. And when I walk up to him, I didn't think about stabbing him. I didn't think about trying to kill him or anything. I see my homeboy kind of move his back towards me. So when I swoop the blade out, I slick it downwards so no one sees it. And then I come up on old boy that's beating up my homeboy. The bicep dude just came out my homeboy building. I grabbed him by the black shirt and I just started stabbing him. I started hitting him in the ribs. I started hitting him in the chest. and I continued to keep just stabbing him. Then my homeboy, he kind of like falls back, I don't know why. I thought he got dazed or something by a punch from the bicep. So I, turning the bicep around. There was a car right there, so I leaned him against the car, and I just started stabbing him again. I repeated, kept stabbing, hitting him. I put him down. I bent him over, and his head was like towards my right leg. And then I started hitting him in the chest with the piece. I started coming up. And when I pushed him back onto the car, he spit blood at me, and that's when I let him go, because I already knew I already hit bladder area, so I'm sure he's dying already. And when I looked at my homeboy, he's pale. He's in shock. And my homeboy just looked staring at me. So I don't know what they seen in my face or if they seen old boy bleeding, but he had a black shirt on. All you seen was blood coming out of his mouth. So I turn around, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So I run up the hill, go down, boom, I get the whip, my knife, and I look up the hill, I see my homeboy like barely coming over, like slow, like walking. I cuss at him, I know what the fuck you doing, let's go, Pee-wee. And he's like, hey, fool, you got me. I was like, what? What do you mean I got you? He's like, fool, you stabbed me. So I guess in the process of me opening up the knife, I stabbed my homeboy Pee-wee in the back of the leg, and luckily a couple of my little homies drove up. And I think it was God sent, man, helping out my homeboys, because my little homeboys drove up. And they're like, what's up, Shadow?
It's making that noise again, bro.
To the hospital.
Shadow.
My bad. And I told, I heard you. I told him, man, take the homie to the hospital. And he was like, man, my little homeboy had like a fucked up Nissan 4-door, like his car was all fucked up, but he had a system. That fool was like, man, don't get no blood on my seat. I'm like, oh, you're fucking got a shitty ass car. What are you really worried about blood on the seat, man? And my homeboy got in the car and took off, man. And I'm doing this shit at 16 years old, bro. Like, this shit wasn't showed me how to do. I just did it because it was just like, so, like, it's a family. Like you said, man, the worst thing in the world is to have a neglected child, because they're going to get attached to something that nobody wants. Some kids get attached to pedophiles.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Or they get attached to
Okay, I had to pause because I want to get rid of that noise for everybody. Okay, go ahead, brother. You're good.
All right, yeah. So, man, it's best, like, being at that age, man, and just able to commit a crime that I look back at now, I'm just like, wow. Like, I don't know where that came from, but I think it was just more of an embracement of what I got from my homeboys from Rockwood, that it was like family. Like, I would go to my last breath, and give to the earth for them, because, I thought that's what life was about, just me, my homeboys, and the neighborhood. And that day, man, a lot of homeboys were like, damn. And I was the youngest homie, but I didn't understand what took place. All I knew was to react to it. Come to find out, my homeboy Pee-wee tells me, hey, man, this dude one time got drunk and pulled a knife out on me. And what a coincidence, I ended up stabbing this dude and pulled a knife out on my homeboy. I'm not praising the violence. I'm just saying, that was happening in my life. And the purpose of me expressing these stories and telling people my life stories is because those people that are about to live that or want to be, hey, that's the life for me, don't do it. Go talk to your mom, go talk to your dad, go talk to a real friend, because if there's someone out there that really cares about you, they're going to tell you the truth. And it might hurt, and it might sound raw, and it might sound uncut, and you might not like it, but I'm telling you, listen to them. Because that advice they're going to give you, man, is going to be better for you. It's not going to be, to go to prison, to lose your life over something that's not worth it. And I suggest, man, that violence ain't everything. Violence ain't the answer. Violence ain't going to cure all the pain. Violence ain't going to take away the problems. Violence ain't going to, make you wake up the next day feeling better about yourself. It's just going to cause more trauma. We're trying to refrain from continue to repeat that process of violence and pain, and especially for Raza and other races and other families, because minorities live through this on a daily, and we get neglected by the country. So let alone we want to do this to our own people. Yeah, man. I just, I've done things as a kid. Now I'm able to reflect on it and realize, man, I made some horrible choices. And, even though the way it played out, I don't suggest nobody to do that.
So let me ask you something. What, man? Like I love your message, bro. When you come in here and speak like this, bro. What would you tell a younger you? When do you think that you passed that threshold where there was no return? How old were you? You think at 14 you still could have
I
been
was about
saved?
13.
So at 13 years old you could have still been saved.
Yeah, 13, 14.
That's important for us to
I
do.
could have been saved. I just didn't have the right people. Yeah,
Ex-
I could have been saved between 13 and up. But it's just those people that were supposed to be in my life weren't. To give me that advice, it was totally opposite.
You
And
know,
the guy, the picture that I got, the people that were around me wasn't about changing my life.
because you seem like you really are compassionate about like trying to help others. Because you said that before, man. That's awesome, brother. You know what I mean? I think we'll leave off here. You were 16. This is about 16 years old. We'll go in. Were you before you were 16? Were you in juvenile hall or anything like that, or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in juvenile hall. I was in Central Juvenile Hall. I mean, everybody that knew me in juvenile hall, I was fighting everybody. I was knocking people out. I was fighting staff. I was fighting everybody. Everybody knew me because I was the tallest Mexican, big. I was real big. I had big old rockwood on my neck. I got my tattoo on my throat, first tattoo on my throat when I was like 13. And it was Spout Out the Hood on my throat and on my forearm.
Yeah.
Everybody knew me with that tattoo in juvenile hall because you didn't have to ask me where I'm from. You just read my neck and you knew if I'm your enemy or not. So, in juvenile hall, it's always like YAs, just fighting all day. I mean, I've been through some thorns in juvenile hall, but I smashed. I did a lot of smashing in juvenile hall. And a lot of guys know me from there. And, yeah, I was like that growing up as a kid, man. I didn't take no bullshit from nobody. I didn't give a fuck who you were, what race you were. You want it, you can come get it. I'll get with the program. You better hope and pray you with that too, because when I come, I'm coming full force.
Yeah, you gotta respect that. So I think we're gonna stop where you were. Right now, we just talked about when you were 16. I think we're gonna go into like in the future. We'll talk about. We're gonna go through different age brackets and different stories, guys. So I think eventually we may not just because we stopped when he was 16 does not mean we're gonna start off when he's 17. We're gonna move it around, keep this interesting. So hey, Shadow, I appreciate you, man. This was a good spill. Always have a positive message for people out there, man. Much love.